AITA for begging my daughter not to have any more children? I, 58F, and my husband, Rob, 61M, have 2 kids, Erica, 35F, and Mike, 30M. Both kids are married, but Erica and her husband, Steve, 38M, live nearby to us, and this issue concerns them. They work full-time and have 2 kids, 5M and 4F. 5 years ago, my daughter asked my husband and me if we would be willing to become their full-time childcare so she could continue to work and afford their comfortable life. We agreed, but we didn't discuss much more than watching the baby and their expectations. I was a teacher and retired 2 years before I could take my pension, so my husband continued to work. And we made a few sacrifices like vacations and adding to our savings, but we were able to make it work so I could take my full pension at 55 and my husband retired a year later. Our arrangement worked and we enjoyed having the kids, except by year 3, 2020, we started to feel like they were taking advantage of our help. In 2020, during the lockdown, they were both working from home. They expected us to keep the kids all day, and we wanted to split time week since their preschool daycare was closed. We settled on 2 with them and 3 with us, and my Sil complained about it pretty much every day. Things got better when the kids were able to school. Fast forward to year 4, 2021. We have a bit of a blow-up over kindergarten. My daughter did not want 5M to start school in the unknown, but I insisted that he needed to go because I needed the break. I also asked for 4F to spend more time at the preschool daycare program. Sil complained about the cost, but I pushed anyway. They relented, and then this past spring Sil pushed for us to take the kids for a week so they could go on a vacation. We said they had to take the kids and he said they couldn't afford it. No one went on vacation. Maybe that is too much background, but I feel like the context is important for what I said. My daughter and I were casually having a conversation the other day and she mentioned she had an OBGYN appointment and tests. I asked if everything was okay and she said Steve and her were trying for baby number 3. I asked her what her childcare plan was and she looked at me like I was crazy and said us. I said that it would have been nice if she told me this before trying for another baby. She said it is none of my business. I said it is if I'm providing 5 more years of babysitting. I then told her that we were not a viable childcare option for a new baby and begged her to reconsider. 4F is going off to kindergarten. We feel like we are getting our days back to some extent and refuse to start all over again with an infant. Erica said we are making her choose between her dream of 3 kids and financial stability. I argued that she has 2 beautiful children and they are financially stable. They shouldn't ruin that with another baby. I might be tough because Erica feels like we should have told her sooner. I feel like I am not, because I never agreed to a lifetime of raising their kids. Edit. We will continue to watch our 2 grandchildren after school and during the summer, as this is what we have agreed to and we enjoy it. School provides a nice break for us and then we do fun things with the kids in the summer. We just don't want to start again with another baby. NTA. The audacity of some people to say it isn't your business when they expect you to be the childcare. Just refuse. NTA. You and your husband need to actually retire. Tell your entitled and greedy daughter and son-in-law that you will not provide daycare on a regular basis for any kids after this summer ends. That gives them 3 months to make arrangements. In September, they will need to figure out childcare for the kids they already have, and for any future children they decide to have, because you and your husband are going to travel in a casual and leisurely way. Look, I'm older than you, and right now you have your health and the money and ability to enjoy yourself. Go now. Don't waste the next 10 to 15 years raising their kids. You'll be in your 70s. or sick, or disabled. By the time your daughter decides she doesn't need you anymore, then she could stick you in a nursing home and never help you or visit. Start your retirement now. NTA, but please remember this. No one can treat you like a doormat without your permission. You need to put your foot down 100% unequivocally that you are no longer, and will never again, be long-term childcare for any of their current or future children. One-off babysitting is fine, but they need to figure out where their kids will go on a regular basis starting immediately. And then do not cave in to any cajoling, guilt trips, comparisons, begging, sob stories, etc. You have earned your retirement and are completely free to spend it any way you and your husband choose. Period. I feel like your argument here shouldn't be, please don't have any more kids. It should be, do what you want, but I will not be here to help. This is your kid, not mine. You should 100% tell her that you are done babysitting and she will have to figure out childcare for any additional kids that she has. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You need to stop babysitting now so she knows you're serious. NTA. NTA, and they are taking advantage of you. Does your daughter not realize you are exhausted and should be a retiree now? Please set boundaries now. You need to manage their expectations before they make any decisions. Explain you will not be able to help with childcare anymore because you are exhausted. You are older and need to look after your own health and well-being. There is a reason people do not have young children in their late 50s. Your daughter needs to know this now, before she gets pregnant and you feel obliged to work for free and little thanks for another 5 years. NTA. My sister has done this exact thing to our parents and they can't even enjoy being retired. You are not there to provide free childcare. You raised your kids. Now it's time for you and your husband to be able to enjoy your time together without kids. Stand firm and hold your ground. She wants another baby. That's fine. But you are not going to be the care provider for this one too. NTA. Sorry you raised such a self-entitled and selfish daughter lol. I asked her what her childcare plan was and she looked at me like I was crazy and said us. I said that it would have been nice if she told me this before trying for another baby. She said it is none of my business. Lol. She assumes you are the de facto babysitters then feels that this is none of your business? Wow. NTA. Maybe shouldn't tell her not to have a third. But definitely that you're not going to be free daycare moving forward. Let her make her own decision from there. That said, boy the nerve on her. NTA. But why are you begging? Just state, very clearly, honey, we will not be providing full-time care to this new baby. You can do what you want, but you need to know that you cannot count on us as caregivers. NTA. You've done enough. Tell them you're done being their daycare. NTAIF. She wants to have more kids. Then she can find someone else to help raise them. You are a grandparent, not a parent. It's not your job to be watching them all the time and be expected to continue doing so for even more kids. Helping out when you're able to is good. But she and her husband is definitely taking advantage of you both. NTA. First, I don't think you're tough for not telling your daughter sooner because it sounds like she presumes y'all were going to do childcare for them rather than asking. Second, you're definitely not tough for not wanting to take on childcare duties with their third child. If financial stability is such a huge concern for them, then they needed to have that discussion among themselves prior to having a third child since children are expensive. NTA. Their financial stability is not your problem. NTA. I have 6 kids and the only time I asked my parents to babysit is when I was in the hospital or the one of the kids were in the hospital. Your daughter and Sil are taking advantage and too entitled. I suggest you and the hubby plan a long bucket list of cheap and fun vacations so you have an excuse to enjoy your long-awaited retirement. Because seriously, you saying no probably won't register with them. Those two need to suck it up and take responsibility as parents. NTA. Absolutely NTA. They can't handle taking care of 2 kids. How are they going to take care of 3? At that point they're outnumbered and they literally haven't learned how to handle the kids they have when they offload them onto you. You are the only one who can enforce your boundaries. And it's very likely they may start playing hardball to get you to bend them. i.e. withholding the grandkids. Be prepared for that. NTA. Part of having children involves being able to pay for childcare. If they can't afford childcare for 3 kids, then they can't afford 3 kids. I suggest you politely tell them that you've supported them getting on their feet and providing childcare as they adjusted to being new parents. But now it's time for them to start making plans to finance their own childcare and for you and your husband to start enjoying your retirement. And you should stick to this regardless of if they have a 3rd child or not. They may need to cut back, adjust, and pivot to make things work. But that's part of being a parent. That is not on you. It's time for them to step up and stop dumping their parental duties on you. NTA. If they can't afford a vacation with their existing children, they sure as heck can't afford to be having another one. You raised her and have helped her tremendously with her responsibilities. You've given up too much of your retirement time with your husband already. Tell her now no. Let her know it's her business how many children she wants to have, but it's your life and she's not entitled to any more of your doing her job as the parent time than you've already given her ungrateful entitled butt. NTA. Your daughter is taking advantage of you and has been. You have every right to want a break or even stop childcare altogether. You raised your kids. You have even had your own career. It is time for you to have a break. NTA. So your life gets put on hold so your D and Sil can have a comfortable one? He'll know. Your D's attitude is bad enough. But the Sil no freaking way. I don't see his mom or family stepping up. Maybe you should suggest that. You need to figure out how much time you are willing to give. And then tell them what you have decided. And if you don't want to take in another infant, you let them know that also. This is your retirement, and after working all your lives you should be able to go and do whatever you want, whenever you want. Or you can do nothing and enjoy a quiet lazy day at home with each other. You earned that. NTA. Erica and her husband are abusing you and your husband, and neglecting the children she has.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic AITA is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.